Amidst the heightened drama, the former Chief Magistrate Sembabule Magistrate's Court, Sylvia Nanungi, shouted at the top of her voice when she was brought to court to face charges that led to her morning arrest. Magistrate Sylvia Nanungi and Chief State Attorney Bako Jacqueline appeared before Magistrate Joan Achiro, facing 9 corruption charges. These charges related to allegedly soliciting gratification from Johnny Ambasiza and Mulanga Franco to facilitate the release on bail for Kalintu Zedekia and dropping charges against Eric Sabit. Prosecution alleges that Sylvia Nanungi and Bako Jacqueline solicited over 10.48 million from the aforementioned suspects.
At the Resident State Attorney's Office in Sembabule Town, Sembabule District, being a public official employed by the government of Uganda as a state attorney in charge of the Resident State Attorney's Office, Sembabule, in performance of her public functions, solicited for gratification of Uganda shillings 2 million, Uganda shillings 2,500,000 from Kalintu Zedekia in exchange for the grant of bail to the said Kalintu Zedekai, who had been issued with criminal summons and NTUSI, that is in 2C, CRB 034/2022. Have you heard and understood?
Yes.
Is it true or it's not true?
It's not true.
Of offense, corruption, contract section 2, subsection A and 26 of the Anti-Corruption Act 2009 as amended. Particulars of offense, Bako Jacqueline, on the 12th day of April 2023 at the Resident State Attorney's Office in Sembabule Town, Sembabule District, being a public official employed by the government of Uganda as a state attorney in charge of the Resident State Attorney's Office, Sembabule, in the performance of her public functions, accepted gratification of 1,480,000 shillings from Mulanga Franco in exchange for the grant of bail to Kalintu Zedekai, who had been issued with criminal summons on into CRB 034/2022. Had and understood?
Yes.
Is it true or it's not? Count 3, statement of offense, corruption, contract section 2, subsection A and 26 of the Anti-Corruption Act 2009 as amended. Bako Jacqueline and Nanungi Sylvia, during the month of April 2023, in Masaka City and Sembabule District, being public officials employed by the government of Uganda as a state attorney in charge of the Resident State Attorney's Office, Sembabule, and Chief Magistrate of Sembabule, Chief Magistrate Court, respectively, in performance of their public functions, solicited for gratification of 2,500,000 shillings from the relative of Ambasize John, who was on remand on 2C CRB 034/2022 in exchange for his release on bail. Ms. Bako, have you heard and understood?
Yes.
Is it true or it's not true?
It's not true.
Ms. Nanungi, Have you heard of and understood? Is it true? It's not true. Hence, Corruption Contract Section 2, subsection A and 26 of the Anti-Corruption Act 2009 as amended. Particulars of offense. Bako Jacqueline, during the month of May 2022, at the Resident State Attorney's Office in Sembabule Town, Sembabule District, being a public official employed by the government of Uganda as a state attorney in charge of the Resident State Attorney's Office, Sembabule, in the performance of her public functions, solicited for gratification of 10 million shillings from Karim to Zedekai, one of the suspects on Ntusi CRB 034/2022 in exchange for excluding him from the charge sheet, where he had been charged with offences of attempted murder, criminal trespass, and malicious damage to property. Madam Bako, have you had and understood? Is it true or it's not true? Corruption Contract Section 2, subsection A and 26 of the Anti-Corruption Act 2009 as amended. Particulars of offense. Bako Jacqueline, during the month of May 2022, at the Resident State Attorney's Office in Sembabule Town, Sembabule District, being a public official employed by the government of Uganda as a state attorney in charge of the Resident State Attorney's Office, Sembabule, in the performance of her public functions, accepted gratification of 7 million shillings from Karim to Zedekai, one of the suspects of Ntusi CRB 034/2022, in exchange for excluding him from the charge sheet where he had been charged with offences of attempted murder, criminal trespass and malicious damage to property. Have you had and understood count 5? Is it true or it's not true? Corruption Contract Section 2A and 26 of the Anti-Corruption Act 2009 as amended. Particulars of offense. Bako Jacqueline, during the month of March-April 2023 at the Resident State Attorney's Office in Sembabule Town in Sembabule District, being a public official employed by the government of Uganda as a state attorney in charge of the Resident State Attorney's Office, Sembabule, in the performance of her public functions, solicited for gratification of 2 million shillings from relatives of Sabit Eric, one of the accused persons on Ntusi CRB 034/2022, in exchange of his release on bail. Madam Bako, have you heard and understood? Yes. Is it true or it's not true? A plea of not guilty is entered. Count 7. Corruption Contract Section 2, subsection A and 26 of the Anti-Corruption Act 2009 as amended. Particulars of offense. Bako Jacqueline, during the months of March and April 2023 at the Resident State Attorney's Office, Sembabule Town in Sembabule District, being a public official employed by the government of Uganda as a state attorney in charge of the Resident State Attorney's Office, Sembabule, in the performance of her public functions, accepted gratification of 2 million shillings from relatives of Sabiti Eric.
Despite pleading not guilty to the alleged charges, Stanley Baine, the leading prosecutor, informed court that inquiries are still ongoing. Presenting herself in court, Magistrate Livian Vanunji sought for bail by presenting sureties. However, the court declined to grant her bail for failure to present substantial sureties to court.
Joseph Bambabura, for A1. Your Honor, accused one is desirous of applying for bail. However, she has been delayed by her sureties. Your Honor, in the premises, we pray that court grants an early adjournment in which court will hear bail application of A1. In the alternative, Your Worship.
Hold on. And the alternative?
In the alternative, in the event that the adjournment is further than this week, Your Worship, it is our prayer that court grants a production warrant after remand so as to enable the one make up an application to file the tomorrow. It's okay.
I give a date. And then I also give a direction. I think the logical thing would be we just pray for the nearest date, not sir.
Most of that.
My Lord, I've been Chief Magistrate, and until a letter terminates my job, I still have a court to run. My Lord, I humbly pray that you permit my sureties produce the necessary documentation, because my demeanor speaks that I can't run out, I can't hide. My Lord, also out of the 8 counts, I happen to appear on a count where my relative almost is. It's 1 count. My Lord, I humbly pray for bail so that I may also appear before my bosses for a few explanations, because they need that. I humbly pray to overrule state submissions and permit me to produce the necessary documentation, because I have nowhere to go. I'm married in Kulambi with children who need me. I so pray.
Magistrate Joan Yasilo remanded them until November 23, 2023, when Magistrate Sylvia Van Nunji can make a fresh bail application.
And the Chief State Attorney Stanley Baine, and I must agree with him that none of the sureties have presented any documentary proof of employment and place of residence. For the second surety, Prosper Martin Tuliagenda, there is also no form of identification whatsoever, and these are critical documents that should at least be the bare minimum. Should at least be the bare minimum for this court to consider a surety substantial. With all these shortfalls, this court does not find any of these sureties substantial. The applicant has prayed that the documents be presented later, but then I am bound to exercise my discretion judiciously and within the laws of this land, to wit the bail guidelines, the Magistrates Court Act, and also the rules that govern this court where I sit, to wit the High Court Anti-Corruption Division Case Management Rules 2022. Going to the other aspects that the state has mentioned, like the gravity of the offense, the severity of the punishment, probably would be considered during setting the conditions of bail. In any case, bail is granted. Then for the interference with witnesses, this submission has not been substantiated by the state in any way. With all the above, the sureties being found not substantial, this court hereby declines to grant bail to A2 as requested for by counsel for A1. This matter is adjourned to the 23rd of November 2023 at 2 p.m. for a bail application for A1, and A2 can also reapply if ready by then.
The alleged offences, according to the prosecution, took place in April 2023.